Hey everybody, it's Alison Heikkila. Thank you so much for joining me. I am making a Christmas card today. But if you're watching this and you don't celebrate Christmas, or perhaps, it's way past Christmas and whatever, maybe you just have pattern paper that you want to work with. So this is going to work for you anyway. We're going to make a shaker card, I think. You know that I usually don't plan this stuff out too much. But just pull out your pattern paper and let's play along together whether you're making a Christmas card or not. I apologize about the many layers. I'm having a bit of a flare today, and so I need my compression gloves, and the extra warmth is helping. So I apologize if they're distracting, but I kind of need them today. Okay, so I have the Violet Studios Designs Home for Christmas paper pack set. Beautiful collection of papers, really fun. This is what inspired me. I actually had a completely different card in mind, and I switched gears when I came across this pattern, and I was like, oh, well, this is perfect. This is going to make things really easy. So go through your paper pads and see if you have anything that has a focal image with a shape around it. It could be a hexagon, it could be a rectangle, it could be a square. In this case, we've got a circle. So I have a circle die. This is from Elizabeth Crafts Designs. This particular one is no longer available, but if you've got a circle die, you can use any brand, whatever. So I found one of the dies that fit really well around this. That's cutting it kind of close, but I think we're going to go with that because I'm digging this burgundy, right? So we're going to cut this guy out. And then I have, like I said, I want to make a shaker. I have the reverse stitch scallop circles from Fawn. I love this die set so much. And I think that we're going to use this for our focal layer. This one's a little bit bigger than what I want to work with. We'll probably go with this, even though it's ridiculously close to this size. But we're going to start by cutting this out. I chose a couple of patterns to go with it, and let me explain to you why I chose them versus others. First of all, this mimics back to this really well. So that's already a nice layer. Then we have contrast with the red, which is going to make everything pop. Green and red are opposite on the color wheel, but even still, because there's a little bit of red here and a little bit of red here, this red is going to help bring that color, out even further. In addition to color, we have to look at pattern. So we don't want to have anything that's going to be overpowering. So like this one, when we pair it up, it's a little bit much with the small scale of the car and the little wreath, okay? Based on what I have in my head. Maybe this is a little bit much for you right now because you don't really see what I've got going on. So you know what? I'm going to stop explaining this and I'm going to cut this circle out, and then we'll go back to talking about patterns because I really want you to understand why I chose the prints that I chose. I'm going to die cut this. Okay, this is die cut and it looks so cute, and what's really nice is that they're separated just enough so you can really utilize this paper and get another couple of cards. You can even use this one and just have it hanging off the edge for a different design. That would be really cute too. So I'm really excited about being able to use this paper again and again. Okay, so I also cut down this holly branch piece to 4 by 5 1/4, and this is going to sit on here. And if you don't want to make a shaker and you want to keep things crazy simple, you can just slap this onto a card, throw a sentiment on, and be done. And it's super cute. But of course, I need to go up a level. So I'm going to decide where I want this. And I know we're going to talk about pattern paper in a minute, but I want to make sure that you guys get where I'm coming from with this. So I might not even need the red. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I will go with this then, because I really like to use that red. Because if I cut this out of here like that, you're really not going to need the red. See how I don't plan things? But I think that's so sweet, being really tight like that. Oh, maybe we can use the red down here as like a band or something, because I feel like it needs that extra pop. Okay, we're going to do that. So I need to remove this for now. And I'm going to try and get this where I want it. I think that that's a good spot. I usually like to go above halfway, like maybe, I don't know what the measurements are. I just kind of eyeball it. Like, I know I'm going to want a sentiment here, right? So, I don't know. We're going to just go with that. So this looks like it's a good spot. I'm going to pop that out. If you want to, you can use your if you have a mat of some kind that has center points, you can certainly like line it up like so. This is not centered. Hold on. There we go. I know I'm not completely on screen, but I want to make sure that I'm actually in center. That's pretty good. We're going to go with that. I'm going to tape this down with my washi tape, and I'm going to cut this out, and then we'll figure everything else out, and we'll talk about prints. All right, this is so cute. I love this die set, and it's so cute for shaker cards because it brings your eye in because of that scallop. Okay. That is really cute. This is going to be raised up a bit. So because of that, we do need to put some type of backer behind it. I mean, it could just be the card itself. That's okay. I don't love the white, but you guys know I don't typically like having the white show. So we might actually add some of this red behind it in addition to being here. That might be a good way to go. Okay, back to patterns. So we've got this and we've got this. So we have varying sizes, okay? So we've got this tiny print here, right? It's really a focal layer. I wouldn't even really call it a print because if you did a stamp or something, that would be your focal layer. But we have a small print here, something that's a little bit bolder and louder. And, you know, if we were to go with this, it'd be too much. It would overpower our focal image. It would overpower the other ones. And for the card that we're making today, it's just not going to work. Am I going to use them eventually? Absolutely. But for today, it's not really going to work. This is cute, but I feel like it's a little too much. We've got this soft kind of organic thing going on, and these stripes are perfect, which is fine. I love a good bold stripe, but it takes away from the kind of organic, whimsical thing that's going on here, which is why I'm not choosing that one. And then there are these larger trucks, which, you know, then is going to overshadow this little car here. So that's why I chose what I chose. And you might be saying, oh man, Al, you're just long-winded today. And I'm sorry about that, but I feel like I'm not just making a card. I want you to learn why I make the choices that I'm making. It's not just like, oh, this looks cool, I'm going to go with that. Yes, that's part of it, but there's more to it than that. There's theories behind why I pick what I pick. So I figure it's better for you to kind of learn these things than for me to just do it and then you try and perhaps you don't get the same results and you don't know why. Well, I want to explain to you why that could be. Okay, now that I've really gone off course, I'm going to cut out some acetate and we're going to make our shaker. And I do think that we're going to add a bit of this behind so that if it shows, we'll be good to go. What else? I think we're going to actually just wrap this up. Yeah, let's do that. That's going to make it a lot easier. Okay. Thinking as I go, on the fly. All right. So we want this piece to be bigger than the circle because this is going to kind of finish off our shaker area. So I'm going to just turn this into a little square here. Square-ish. Like so. And we know that it's going to work because it is bigger than that. See that? I'm showing it to you on this side so that you can see it's significantly bigger. So we're good. Now we're going to take this and we're going to wind up making a pocket, and this is where our shaker bits are going to go. We don't need to do the whole thing because we don't want our bits to fall down to the bottom. And we're going to do this without foam to try and save on postage, because sometimes when you have foam, it costs a little bit more depending on how thick it is, and it moves really nicely with just the plastic. So we'll be good with this. So let's do that. This is just from, I think, a stencil. We don't even need all of this. I don't even need to open that. I'm going to just cut this down like so-ish. I'm going to go straight across. And then again, I'm going to leave excess. You want to make sure that you leave excess because we're going to wrap this up. And we're going to need to glue this down. So let's do that. I've got Barely Arts glue here. Okay. Glue this on here like so. You're really not going to see much of this red, if anything. but I don't want the white of the card to show. Okay. Yeah, you're really not going to see it, but that's all right. That's okay. This gives it a little bit more substance. It makes it a little thicker, so we're fine. This is my plastic. And I'm going to just open this up. You can usually just kind of tear across the seams. Usually, but not today. All right, we'll cut it. And we can save it for another card because we have all this pattern paper. And we can make duplicates. Not that I'm going to do that on video today. But you can because you've got your paper out, right? Okay. So again, we don't want our shaker bits to fall to the bottom because then you won't see them. So keeping them up here, then you'll be able to see them the whole time. Okay, so I have Tear It tape from Imagine. And I'm going to go around the entire thing with the Tear It tape. I don't even need this here yet. Go around here. I really like this tape for a number of reasons. First of all, because it tears so easily. The paper comes off really nicely as well, the release paper. And it's heat safe. So if you want to heat emboss on top of it, say you have an embossing powder and you want to make some nice looking stripes, right? You can do that if you have like the Versa marker, which is Versamark ink in a marker form. You can use a stencil, right, and just pounce it with Versamark ink. But with this, you just lay your stripes down with the tape. Oh, I took it off all the way. See, I'm talking and I'm not paying attention. You don't want to take them all off yet. Okay, so we've got our car here. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And then I'm going to flip this up. I'll get back to what I was saying in a second. And we're going to fold this over. Don't make it super tight. You want it to be sealed. You see how it's bouncing up? That's because it's a little tight. But that's okay because it's our first one. We want to not have the paper curl. I should have actually moved it over a little bit, but now it's too late. That's all right. And now I'm getting fuzz everywhere. I'm so discombobulated, you guys. All right. It's okay, because it's going to be a cute card when we're done. Folding this over. Okay, so now we have a pocket. We also have these jammies here, which we want to get rid of. So we're going to cut these off. Just like so. Cut that off. Just like so. Leave the top open, because that's where we're going to throw our shaker bits. I'm going to grab those. Okay, I have Ice Queen Sparkle Blends from Doodles Paper Playground and my little Twiddler's Nook skull tray. Unfortunately, Doodles Paper Playground is no longer in business, but you can use whatever sequency bits you have. I decided to go with this one because I like the bits of blue in here because it makes this really stand out. But I'm pulling out the crowns that were in there. Again, it's called Ice Queen, so it had that theme going. I'm also pulling out the really big silver ones because this is going to be a small window. So we don't want to overpower it with super huge things. So I'm going to take out this leaf. Got some snowflakes in here. This is more than what we need, but I just wanted to take out those main parts to start off with. Okay, back what I was saying about the Tear It tape. So with the Tear It tape, if you want stripes, you could just lay that down. You could even make a plaid, which I've done before. And then throw your embossing powder right on top, heat it up, and everything will stick and melt, and it's amazing. So if you want some perfect lines that are embossed, I highly recommend trying the Tear It tape out. A little bit more. Just folding this over for a moment. I think that's cute. We don't need a whole lot because I don't want to take away from the car. Now I can actually remove this release paper and fold this over like so. Make sure we have a good seal there. Again, we have these extra bits that we're going to just cut off. And this is going to get taped again, so we don't need to worry about it really opening because we're going to seal it some more when we add more tape. There is our little shaker. So cute. I'm going to put this away because if I don't, the rest of it will spill everywhere. And now we can attach this to this, which is really cute. And no, you're not really going to see the red, but it's totally fine. It is. And if I misalign something, at least it'll be cute, as opposed to just like, oops, she messed up. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put our tear tape around this. And because everything is sealed, we don't have to be crazy about like, it's got to be perfectly sealed. It'll be fine because this is closed off. And we'll be good. This will help keep it closed. All right. I'm just burnishing this with my fingers to make sure it's really going to stick. And we can pull all of these off. I have not done a whole lot of shakers lately, but coincidentally, next week I plan on having another shaker card video. So I hope that you enjoy shaker cards. I was doing them every week for several years because of the Doodles Paper Playground team, and doing them on Facebook Lives and all of that. So I took a little break, but now I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood for shakers. I'm going to try my best to get this lined up well, which is tricky because, I'm looking kind of over my camera. We're going to go with that. All right. Cute. It's a little lumpy, so we're going to add some, I think, craft foam or maybe some paper. I don't know. Let's see. Let me grab some craft foam because it is lumpy and I don't want it to be. I know I said earlier that we're not going to use foam tape, and we're not. We're going to use craft foam because this is going to kind of get rid of that kind of bounce that we have going on. You can see that it's, well, maybe you can't. It's pretty flat. It's a little tricky for me to film that, but I can see in person that it's pretty level. So I'm going to cut a piece of this foam. And we will use that. Perfect. And that will get rid of some of that bounce that we have going on. So I don't really like to use liquid glue when I'm adhering plastic or acetate. I find that it just doesn't necessarily stick super well. Like I can adhere like little things to it. Like if there's a little overhanging piece of cardstock or something, then that's fine. But to actually make my shaker with a liquid adhesive, I hesitate because I've done it in the past and I was never real happy with it, so I kind of avoid that now. Okay, I also want to just trim off this excess plastic. It's not for any particular reason except I'm being a little anal about it and it's just excess that we don't need. Okay. Hands are clumsy today. My apologies. Okay. That's good. I think this is so cute. It's really not taking long either. Okay, we definitely need some color around the edges. I'm thinking rhubarb stalk, ink. I don't think that I want to use anything shimmery because we've got that shaker window. I'm just grabbing my rhubarb stalk, which happened to be right on top. How lucky is that? This is Memento. This is from Imagine. So we're going to go around the edges with that, and then we're going to add our sentiment. I think that the shaker should be the shiny thing, and we don't necessarily need to have it around the edge. Now, I know that's probably surprising because I usually use something shiny around the edge, especially when I'm doing a shaker, but I think that for this, with the way this paper looks, it's rustic and cute, and I kind of just want to keep it not shiny. I like to keep you guys guessing. Maybe that's what it boils down to. Okay. I'm going to swipe across the edge here. Okay. How's that looking? Adorbs. I'm going to bring up just a little bit more here so that it's a little bit more solid. Okay. Very cute. I like it. All right, now we have a die set. This is old. This is from Stampendous. I can't seem to find any other large Marys in my stash. This might be the only one. Use what you've got, guys. Use what you've got. There's a ton of them out there. I think that I might not have purchased any others because I had this one. It does not have to be the same. And if you don't want it to say merry, you could have it say happy, or you could have it say whatever. Maybe you're not doing a holiday card. It can be whatever you want. So let me grab some cardstock to go with this. Actually, let's see. We're going to use this for the shadow. Duh. Yeah, let's do that. This is going to be the shadow layer. And then I think that we'll see if I have like this kind of dusty tealy color for the focal layer. I don't really want it to be white. I think it's going to be too stark if I do white. However, if I only have white and not a color that coordinates with this one better, then we might be able to use Speckled Egg from the Distress line. Let's see. Speckled Egg, where are you? Look at that. I mean, come on. Maybe we'll just do that because then I don't have to search for it. Let's go with that. Okay. This is probably the wrong size. Let me grab a scrap. Okay, here's a scrap of white. And because this is slightly fiddly, it's a little delicate, I'm going to colorize the paper first. And if you have the Distress spray stain, you can use that too. I just don't want it to have a sprayed look. I want it to be solid. And this will dry back a little bit too. Perfect. So it's a little darker than this layer, but it coordinates really well and it will dry a little bit lighter. So I'm going to die cut these off camera. Okay, that is all die cut, and you can see that this kind of dried back a little bit. It's not exact, but you know what? It's really close, and I'm very happy with that. So I'm going to just adhere this to the shadow layer. Just trying to get a couple of dots on here. Okay. See how fiddly it is? If we were going to try to ink this afterwards, after we had cut it, it would have been really kind of annoying. And if you want to stack your die cuts and make them more substantial, you can do that, but I'm not going to do that in this case. I do it sometimes, not all the time. This is about getting a card made pretty quickly. Oh, that's really cute. Let's move this out of the way. That is really cute. Okay, let's get this glued down. You know what I should do first? I should add some more tape here, because we want to make sure it's really stuck down well. We don't need to add it around the edges unless we decide to add some foam tape, which, you know what, I think I might just do, because that's a pretty big border around it, and I don't want the card to be floppy, or this top layer to be floppy, I should say. So I think I'm going to do that really quickly off camera, just so that you don't have to watch me fiddle around with craft foam for 20 minutes. I've got all this foam on here and all this glue, so we're going to get this onto the card base. Maybe. If we can get it in the right spot. There we go. Don't know how I got glue on the plastic. Oh no, that's a piece of glitter. That's glitter. Okay, we're good. I was like, how did I get glue underneath when I wasn't even using wet glue at the time? Okay, we're going to add our Mary. I feel like it needs a band. I thought we were done. We're not done. We need something else. So much for adding not any more shine. I have this piece of foiled cardstock. It's a pale, pale blue, really similar to Speckled Egg and this color in the background. I cut it to 4 by a 1/2 inch. And I think that that's going to just kind of ground it because it was looking like it was just floating, and I don't want it to just float. I want it to be locked in, grounded to the rest of the card. So let's add a little glue like so. Pop this on here. Looks like it's about right. Maybe a little lower. Probably better. Yep, that's good. And now we'll get this glued, and then a card is done. And what's cool is, you know, now that we've done all the thinking that we needed for this card, as far as how many types of patterns we need, how many ink colors we need, 2, depending on your paper and if you have coordinating stuff and whatever, you know, you can just make this over and over and again. You can set up an assembly line like, okay, this is my focal layer. I'm going to make 6 cards and just die cut them all with the circle. And then you grab your other little piece here, your focal image, and then die cut them or whatever, hand cut them or whatever you're going to do. And if you don't have something like this, you know, where it's a focal image, just get one of your stamped and colored images. Maybe you have a rub-on, maybe you have a piece of ephemera, and just repeat over and over again. And then you have a really cute little card, and you're using up some pattern paper. That's it for me today, guys. I hope that you have a wonderful day. If you're celebrating Christmas, Merry Christmas to you if you're watching this prior to the holiday happening, which again is, oh my gosh, Monday. Yeah, so have a great day. I'll be back next week with, I believe, another shaker card. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you learned a few things. Be well, stay safe, peace out.